It's just after 3 a.m. the morning of April 22nd of 2018. James Shaw Jr. pulls into a local Waffle House after a night out in the town. Shaw in the red truck pulling in next to his friend in the white car. As they walk up to the entrance, they notice a man sitting in his tan Chevy Silverado. This is accused killer Travis Reinking. They walk a few more steps before Shaw takes a second look.
His energy wasn't right. I could just feel it.
But they proceed to the countertop and take a seat. And shortly after, the unexpected happened.
It looks like a silver glitter is going through the air.
That shattered glass from the gunshots. Everyone then running to different parts of the diner to take cover, with Shaw running toward the restroom to the right of the entrance, with shots grazing his arm. And now a short pause, where Reinking makes his way into the Waffle House. A pause that Shaw took advantage of.
Just ran through the door thinking it's either just going to be me or him, or it's going to be, death. We'll see what happens.
Shaw says he ran toward Reinking without a plan in mind. This is where they would next struggle over the weapon.
Pulling up, and I finally get the gun, and I throw it.
And that gun then falls over the counter.
It was a voice that told me to do it. Do it now. And I acted upon that voice.
Shaw then pushes Reinking out of the Waffle House as bystanders continue to take cover inside. Reinking then runs off, jumping over Joe Perez, who is one of the 4 killed in the shooting.
Their extent of their injuries, the people that I dealt with inside, conversations that I had with people that didn't make it, I think about it quite often.
Testimony began today in the trial for the man accused of murdering 4 people in the rampage at an Antioch Waffle House nearly 4 years ago.
Now tonight, for the very first time, we are seeing pictures of the scene in and outside of the restaurant when Metro Police say Travis Reinking walked in with an assault-style rifle and started shooting.
Jurors saw surveillance video in court for the first time today, and we want to warn our viewers, this video is difficult to watch. Take a look, though. In this surveillance video, you can see the glass of the front window getting blasted out and people dropping to the floor trying to scramble for safety. Prosecutors say Reinking chose a time when the Waffle House was busy. Armed with 90 rounds of ammunition, he shot 2 people outside the restaurant and then moved inside and kept on shooting. Akilah DaSilva and his brother were in the restaurant with their girlfriends. DaSilva's brother was one of the victims.
As he was on the stretcher, he kept jumping up off of it like he was panicking. He was saying he couldn't breathe. He kept looking at me and telling me he couldn't breathe.
Akilah DaSilva died a short time later at the hospital. The man credited with stopping the attack, James Shaw Jr., took the witness stand just a few moments ago to talk about what happened that night.
I take him and I'm kind of choking him with my left hand. And I'm pushing him out the way. And he kind of goes for my left hand, and as he goes for my left hand, I take my right hand off you still use my right hand, I take my left hand off of him, and I just pulling up, and I finally get the gun, and I throw it, and I watch the gun look like it was in the air for days.
James Shaw Jr. credited with saving lives. Reinking's charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder. He has pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity.